Okay, we got to talk about this wedding because some stuff happened at this wedding that has never happened before at a Duggar wedding. And you know what I'm talking about. 3 words.
Yeah, that happened.
What's up, guys? What's going on? Ginger and Jeremy here. We're back for another episode.
We are back. What are we talking about today?
Well, we just got back from another Duggar wedding.
We did.
And so a couple things are going to come out of that. I want us to talk about Jason Duggar's wedding. Him and Maddie are living happily ever after. But one of the things that came out of the wedding was all this new wardrobe. How did that happen?
This is not sponsored, but it was crazy. So we were at Jason and Maddie's wedding. And actually the day before we went to Carlin Bates, well, not Bates now. See, I still say it.
By the way.
It still comes out.
Hey,
Carlin Bates Stewart.
Evan Stewart, he's the man. I like this guy. This is the first time we ever hung out.
I love it.
And
I
he's a
love
cool
that
cat.
y'all got to hang out.
Yeah.
We went
We're
over
buddies
to
now.
their
We
house.
send each other reels and we text.
I like that.
And that's the true test of a guy's friendship is if you're going to take the reels.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Seriously,
Evan,
I
what's
love
up?
that. Let's go. So Jeremy got to connect with them. I've been friends with the Bates kids for forever. And so it was just good. Like our lives, like we all are so busy. Everyone's grown up. They kind of just doing their own thing. But then every so often we come back together. And this was just another one of those times. So sweet. So we went over to Carlin and Evan's house and we were talking about how we didn't have enough time the day of the wedding. It was the day of the wedding, right? We didn't have enough time to like go to the boutique that day.
Yeah. So we went over to the Stewarts because everyone was swimming there in the morning. The wedding was at like 6 at night.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So everybody was just hanging, eating Chick-fil-A and.
Yeah, we went over to their house and then we were talking because I was like, oh, I would love to go to the Bates sisters boutique and just to see like what you guys have there. And of course, I feel like I've outgrown half of my clothes because I'm pregnant and I can't fit into a lot of things right now. So I was like, I need a new wardrobe. And Carlin was like, we should go right now. But there was not enough time in between the wedding and like when we needed to be there and stuff. So she was like, we'll do it after the wedding. And I was just trying to calculate what time do we think this wedding's going to end? How late is it going to be? It's probably going to be too late and they're going to like need to back out. Well, no, they didn't. Those Bates kids, I remember back in the day, could stay up super late, way later than we ever could. And sure enough, it was Jason's wedding, which we'll talk about in a minute. But after the wedding, Carlin was like, let's go. So Jana, Abby, and I hopped in a car. Carlin, Joy, Jessa, they all went over there to the boutique. And it was just so much fun. We were laughing, having the best time. We were there until like 1:30 in the morning. I think
at least 1:30.
Was it later? It probably was like 2 a.m.
I think you got back to the Airbnb around 2. I was
crazy.
I was hanging with Evan and Austin and Ben.
Yeah.
And
it's just crazy.
Oh, and the latest brother-in-law, Steven Wisman, was there.
Let's go. Yeah.
And so we were hanging out and I stayed there till 4 a.m.
He stayed up way later than me. So they were trying to get me to come over. But then I was like, I feel nauseous if I stay up later than usually if I stay up later than 10.
Yeah.
So I actually showed up at the boutique and I was like telling Zach and Whit, like they also are owners of the boutique as well. And they were there. So they like were all hanging, right? And then I was like, so what's open around here? I think it was about 11 o'clock or something. And I just needed food. I needed more food. Because if I eat, I don't feel as nauseous. And so I was like, I just need like pickles. I need like something. I was like, oh, do they have soft pretzels at your gas station? And Zach was there and Jackson Bates. And they were like, no, all the places are closed here. They said the only place that is open is Waffle House. And it's not even right here. So I was like, Waffle House? I don't know. It's a little sketchy. I don't know about that. So I didn't go for that. But then they were like, let us go home and make you pretzels. It'll take us an hour. And I was thinking, we're not going to be here for an hour. We were there for like, what, 2 hours? 2.5?
At least, no.
3?
What, did you get there at 10?
No, we got there at like 11, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, 3 hours or so, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5. It was crazy, but it was so much fun because it had just been so long since I had seen Zach and Whit, and then Carlin and Evan, I saw them at Jana's wedding, but they were also like doing all the videography for the wedding. And so they were very busy. So it's just cool to like hang out with them, get to see all of them. Yeah. I wish that we lived closer.
And you shop till you drop, and you had,
oh my word,
tons of clothes.
So I got all these clothes. They were so kind. Like I got so many awesome things from their boutique. And because I had been in a stage where it was like really frustrating. Like I just felt like I said, a lot of my clothes were like not that flowy, or I didn't have things that fit. So I just needed to like go up a size in normal clothes to like be able to wear something that looks normal, that's not like maternity. And so they had a ton of options, and their clothes are like super quality too. So anyhow, but then I also came away with these fun tees. Carlin she kept throwing things in a pile. She's like, you need this. And then Whit would go over and get something off the rack and be like throwing it at me. And then Zach would go get something and they'd throw it my way. So I had a huge pile, and I was thinking, how am I going to get this back? So I only came to Tennessee with a weekender. I traveled with a weekender. I don't know if any other girls do that. Let me just say, I'm sure there are some, but you have to bring a ton of things, especially if you're going for a wedding and you're going to be hanging out. We were only there for like, 2.5 days? So it should make sense.
Well, no, we had a travel day, wedding day, travel day.
Yeah, that's true. So anyhow, but with that, like for weddings, half of the day we're in normal clothes, and then the other half of the day we're in dress clothes. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. So I just I threw everything in a weekender. And I was like, I'm going to try this, because since we've been married, I have not been able to do that. And I think it's because usually we travel with the kids. We actually left our kids back here in California with Jared's parents. They came out to hang out with the kids. And so that's why I was able to do that. And it just felt so crazy. But then when I got to the boutique, I was like, I'm not going to be able to take anything home with me. So of course I wore one of the lounge sets to travel in on my flight back. And it was so comfortable. The waffle set. So good. And then they shipped the rest back for me. So I got like a whole bunch of stuff.
And here it is.
This is one of them. Yes, probably every episode, the next few, I'm going to be wearing it. I went to a wedding on Sunday. Also, I wore dresses from their boutique.
It's all you've worn.
Everything is from their boutique.
And there's something about the new clothes feel that's nice to take a tag off and throw it on.
Especially when it fits.
I wonder, do people just wear something straight, or do they wash it first? You don't wash it first.
I never wash it first if it's brand new. And
that's
kind of weird. Unless it has a smell. Now, I will say, some have a smell. And if they have a smell that's toxic, I send it back. Like if it's from Amazon, I send it back. I will not wear it. So if they don't have a weird smell, or if they don't have like a slimy, like if there's no chemical involved, then I won't worry about it. That's my rule.
Right? Straight.
Do you wash them?
No.
No.
I don't know if that's normal though. I don't know if we should wash them.
Normal.
We just assume it's clean, but it's been in a warehouse for however long. I mean, the clothes are probably not clean.
Yeah,
I'd be curious if people wash their clothes before they wear them for the first time.
I'm just like, it's just another thing to do.
I know it.
It's another thing to wash. And then you have to like, if it's like linen, you have to like iron it.
Yeah.
Or steam it.
Yeah, steam that linen. You don't want to iron it.
No.
So, okay, that was fun. And you're looking fresh. You're looking fly.
Well, thanks.
But another Duggar wedding. Jason, he's another one down.
Yeah.
How many more do we have left?
6.
Really?
Only 6 left.
Only 6 left.
Yep.
Only 6 more weddings.
Well, no, that's not going to be true. There are 6 more siblings to get married.
Okay.
Then we have 30 plus nieces and nephews.
Oh, well, yeah.
Up.
Give us some time on that one.
Not too long.
We've got another 15
you think about
years.
it, like our oldest niece is 14.
Oh, really?
And then,
so in the next 10 years, we might start seeing weddings.
Yeah, probably so.
The second
and then
generation.
it will be crazy. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to all of those, because that's a lot.
It's crazy. So talk about Jason's wedding. Jason, what a guy.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good wedding. We actually flew into Knoxville and to the tiny airport there, got our rental car, and then we drove straight to the venue, which was in Newport, Tennessee. And so it was actually crazy timing too, because sadly, it was right after all of the devastation, all the storms that came through from Helene. And then they just had like, it was wild. Like the town of Newport, they had some damage there, but thankfully the venue was not damaged. There was like, if so, it was minor and you couldn't tell. But the hotels that were closest to the venue, they didn't have power or water. And so a lot of the family and friends that were going to stay there ended up having to go stay an hour away in Knoxville because there was so much that, you couldn't stay there. And there was so much damage.
It was. I mean, the exit to the venue was literally the last exit before the highway was shut down because of damage.
That was crazy because I feel like the whole drive, you drive an hour on that interstate, and literally, like you said, it is the very last exit. And so had it been any further in, it would have been, the venue would have probably canceled because you couldn't get there.
And it was amazing. I mean, the space too, Medicorp was out there. So the Bates, John, David, he was out for probably 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, so
working
many
to bring relief,
working
to bring the internet, the Starlinks to people who, because the major issue with so many people in the mountains with a storm like that is they had no form of communication. So whether it was a mudslide or their power outage went out or down trees, and they could not move. So you think about people who are, 10 miles out in the middle of nowhere, and they're stranded. They only have so much food, only have so much water, and they have no contact. So John David and Medicorp was working to get Starlink to them so they could communicate and then get their needs and actually evacuating people, getting people out. So John came straight from there, and then a bunch of family right after the wedding was going back in.
Yeah, they were going back out because it was just crazy. They had been on the ground for a couple weeks, and then following that, then you had Hurricane Milton hit, and so you just have damage everywhere. And so I think they're still on the ground now, and this is like, we're a couple weeks out now, and I think it's just gonna be. It's really going to take a long time for many of those communities to rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
But still, it's crazy how you're so far out and they still don't have communication up. And like you said, it's not, I think if you haven't visited the mountainous areas or if you haven't been over there, like especially like the hills of Tennessee, North Carolina, all of that, you think, okay, well, wouldn't you just take another route? Well, there is no other route because a lot of those places are so closed off because you're living on the side of a mountain or there's no other road. There's one road in and out. And so a lot of those communities have been totally closed off. Like you said, they need supplies. They need people to come in and to like set up those communications because they're life saving. So if you have an emergency, no one's going to know that you're there. No one's going to know that you need help. So
and
it's
it was
really
such
cool.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. I was just going to say, it's really cool to see so many people coming together to do this work. And John with like Medicorp, and then all of the people who are out there serving Samaritan's Purse. You have just like tons of people bringing aid and like reaching out to those communities. And it's like when disasters happen like that, it's sad to see it happen. And then at the same time, you can also see the communities come together and probably actually be stronger as a community because of it. Following the tragedies.
Yeah, I mean, billions of dollars of damage. I think what was so devastating too was if you live in Hurricane Alley, in the middle of Oklahoma, you halfway expect.
You mean Tornado
Alley, yeah. There's no Hurricane Alley.
I was going to say,
that's
not
in Florida.
Oklahoma.
If you live in Florida, but you sort of expect like this is seasonal, kind of like in California here. It's like we expect there to be fires
and earthquakes.
But for where they got hit inland, I was actually just talking to someone who lived on the coast, and they're like, yeah, we were fine. I mean, it was just a tropical storm for us, and it hit us hard, but it was the people inland who were not expecting it, and the mudslides were devastating. Just entire hills just wiping out. So that was particularly alarming because there was no warning or no expectation of that devastation.
Like you don't prepare for it because you aren't expecting that. And they can expect storms, but at the same time, nothing to that extent or that degree.
Yeah. So that was tough we're sitting there celebrating the greatest day of Jason's life with Maddie, and people are coming from disaster relief, and they're headed right back into disaster relief.
Yeah.
It kind of was a vivid illustration of the, dichotomy of life. Is that the phrase where it's, you see the two sides of celebration
and sorrow.
Joy and sorrow.
Yeah.
But the joys, Jason, he's a great guy.
He is.
Found his soulmate.
Yeah.
Maddie's a sweet girl. Have you spent much time with Maddie? Not really.
No. I only talked to her like at Jana and Steven's wedding.
Yep.
And it was really sweet to like connect with her there and then to be at their wedding just a couple months later. Yeah, she just seems like super sweet. It was awesome hearing even speeches from her bridesmaids and just hearing a little bit more about her and who she is. As they were all giving that. That was like really, really awesome. She sounds like she is just a gem.
Yeah, she's a sweet girl. And if Jason fell for her, then she's got to
Oh, yeah.
Jason is this young guy. I mean, ever since I met Jason, I marveled at how his head was on straight. He knew what he wanted to do. He's hardworking. He's ready to take over the world. I mean, he's ready to put the work in and just be, a great dad, a great husband. He's a special young man. So if he got captivated by Maddie, that means she's a special young girl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it was cool to see them off. The venue was gorgeous. I mean, the rolling hills of Tennessee.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
Didn't you I loved how they had the like cross as the backdrop.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then it was like the mountains basically were your background, so you don't have to do a ton of extra decor.
Right.
We've been to a couple weddings like that.
Decor by God.
Exactly. There you go. The best artwork ever. But we've been to a few weddings where they've done that. And I feel like if it's outdoors, if you can pull that off, then go for it because it's just so pretty. Like, I mean, I could not get over it. You're looking at just this beautiful background, the rolling hills. It was actually kind of funny because as the wedding was about to start, there was just these beautiful, like I said, the rolling hills. But I think it was like some sort of, was it a hayfield or something right behind at the bottom of the rolling green hills, and there was a tractor down there. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
The tractor, and there was just like a farmer or guy like working on his tractor, and he was just driving around like right as the ceremony was about to start. We're like, I wonder if he
would have been right
has
in the
any
shot.
idea what is happening right above him. And so, he just was like driving around as they were doing the thing, but it was far enough away. Of course, you couldn't hear.
Well, Buddy's got to do work, and there's probably weddings there all the time. It's like he can't stop for a wedding.
There you go.
And that's part of the scenery. But what was cool is as the day went on, because it was outside, you see the landscape change, and so you have this, pink sky, sunset. It was really pretty. It
was so pretty. I love visiting Tennessee. I really do. We had spent quite a bit of time there with the Bates throughout the year. So we would go visit them a lot because we just love their family. And so anyhow, with that, like there was a time where we spent a month and a half like in Knoxville area. Outside of that, really, it was in Lake City where the Bates lived. But anyhow, like visiting them there and being all over Knoxville, like then you'd see like driving through the Smoky Mountains, just so stunning. You just can't get enough of that. It's so breathtaking. And everybody is like really, really kind and just, I don't know, like it's a different pace of life there. But I don't know. The other thing, okay, we were talking to Gabby. Barrett Fainer. Yes, last night. And we were talking about accents. And I feel like when I go to Tennessee, that's when I feel like I have the strongest accent. Because I can fall into saying y'all, all those things that they say, and like just starting to like use words that I never use here in LA. And you would think I was from Tennessee, right? But it's crazy. Like that just happens. And so every time I step back into that world and I'm around the Bates or just in Tennessee in general, they have such thick accents. Or North Carolina. Our friends in North Carolina, when we visit them, I'm like, oh my word, I'm just falling into it. See, oh my word, you just fall into that. Like it happens, comes out.
There's a thing that you do where, and your sisters do it too, where your G's sound like K's almost.
Yeah.
Where you say think, and there's a at the end. It's just a tiny little at the end.
Think.
And you don't do it until you go back, and then for like a week afterwards.
It's so funny.
And then it goes away. I know there's something for this. There's something in your brain that triggers, because we were talking to our one friend. She's from America, like Arkansas, but then lived and grew up in France and England, and has a proper British accent. And not one, not mine, where it's like, hello, mate. I mean, it's like a real British accent. And she can just switch into it and switch out of it. And if she's not speaking with it, she just sounds like an American kid. And then she switches into it, and you're like, it's not put on.
Yeah.
And she was telling, and I can't remember what it's called, but there's actually something in your mind which switches. And you just like lock in, which is why we feel that way when you go home and all of a sudden you start saying y'all, or you start using phrases or have a bit of a twang, your accent comes back because you lock in. The only time that happens for me is when I'm around Cade Fainer.
Yeah.
And I put on my fake Southern accent.
You do.
And it's not good.
Probably drives him nuts.
Yeah, it does drive him nuts. He doesn't buy it. It doesn't sound Southern at all.
That's so great.
But I kind of can't help it, because he's got a Southern drawl.
He does. He definitely does. Yeah, I'm trying to think though. Is there anything that you say when you go back to Pennsylvania? Is there
There's
like a
a
line?
Philly accent, but I've never been able to nail it down on what it is. So,
well, there's some words like your parents use, but then I'm just thinking, yeah, they say a lot of things so differently.
I mean, there's the famous one, right?
Words?
But I never said this growing up, but instead of y'all or you all, we'd say yous guys. I guess I said that sometimes.
Your parents don't say that though.
Yeah, they don't say it. That's that's real Philly
for that.
Yous guys is kind of a classic Philadelphia, but
just their accent.
I can tell if someone's from Philly.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be able to tell you why I can tell they're from Philly.
You say a lot of different words. Like, I don't know. What are some of the words that
I don't think this one has to do with being from Philly, but the way I say WOLF, I say wolf. Even saying it, I sound dumb.
No.
Wolf. Like WOOF.
Wolf.
And you go wolf. Wolf.
Yeah, but there's sometimes when like I wish I could bring up words right now. Like anytime I try to put myself on the spot to like think of specifics, I can't. But when you say the word, like, is it the word and?
End.
Yes, that's it. Okay, you say end. It's like end. And I'm like, it's and.
And. No, I would never say
and. Felicity says and. And I'm like, that's good. But you say and.
Oh, she does? She says and?
And I wonder, I'm like, is that a thing? Like your mom and dad also, the A is not like, it's not like if you say hand, say hand.
Hand.
Say, what?
Hand.
And.
Hand.
And.
You're tricking me now.
See, it worked.
Yeah, it did. And.
So it's just like end. You always say, it's like END. You say it like END, end. Like this is the end of the show. And you know what? When I say end of the show, I can say end, but I also don't say it properly.
Oh, really?
So sometimes I say it sounds closer to and.
So you're from Arkansas, but I guess Arkansas, Tennessee, there's a bit of Southern.
Oh, there's a huge difference though.
Is there?
There is a massive difference. So Northwest Arkansas, you can tell there's a difference between the people in like South Arkansas. You're starting to sound more like Tennessee.
Really?
Their words are just so much different over there. But we feel like we're a little more balanced because we don't feel like we have an accent. And then the people like further into Arkansas, I feel like they are so close to Tennessee.
Yeah.
They start to talk like people in Tennessee.
What's that one? So we flew into Knoxville and we were really close to, where the Bates live, which is right near, remember that show we would watch on Netflix about people in Tennessee who'd go around and pick up like antique items?
That's
Pickers? What was it called?
Pickers? Oh my goodness, I think it is. And we're waiting for another season to come out.
Well, I don't know why I didn't pick back up. Was it Pickers?
It's like seriously the best show. If we lived there.
American pickers.
We would like follow them around because it's just entertaining to like go to all the places they go to. They find such awesome treasures, really.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking it up. I don't know if American Pickers was the right one.
Oh, maybe it's not. What was it? It's like
Swap Shop? No.
We'll find it. It's like one of those where they go and they find like antiques, but
yeah.
Goodness.
And it was right in that area. It was right in that area where we I can't find it. Where we were. And that was I mean, it is in the middle of nowhere.
It is.
But it is beautiful. I'll give you that. I don't know if I wouldn't like to live there because it's a bit too rural for me, but
yeah.
It's beautiful to go. And the wedding was insane. Okay, we got to talk about this wedding because some stuff happened at this wedding that has never happened before at a Duggar wedding. And you know what I'm talking about. Ginger, 3 words. Cha-cha slide. It happened. Like multiple times. Talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened.
It was fun.
So they had, with the dance floor, it was like hardly anybody was dancing. So there were some times where the DJ would turn on a song and it would be full.
Yeah.
Because it was like the cha-cha slide or whatever. Yeah. Is that what it's called? I don't even know. See, I don't even know. And he would turn it on because it tells you exactly what to do. So all these people like would get out there and do it. And then he'd turn on the next song and there would be no one out there because no one knows how to dance or they don't want to get out there and be the only one.
So Steven and Jana had the first dance at a wedding. It was beautiful. And so then Jason and Maddie had a first dance, but then they opened the dance floor. And this poor DJ had to have been so confused as to what was happening.
What's going on? Because
beautiful first dance, and then, daddy-daughter dance. And then they opened the dance floor, and he was playing hits, Sweet Caroline, all of it. And when they did the cha-cha slide, YMCA, right?
Yeah.
Where when there was instructions for how to do the dance, everybody went out there. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, doing the cha-cha slide with you.
It was great. And
was a good time.
Yeah, it has to be dark enough to where no one knows who you are.
There's some anonymity. It was funny. But then as soon as like other songs would come on, like nobody knew.
Literally everybody would leave off the dance floor. And he'd be standing there like, what's happening? Where is
all of a sudden it's a room of wallflowers. And then we come back.
Because no one knows how to dance. But not no one. Like some of the siblings, some of them have done like the dance lessons.
Oh, yeah.
And like some of the bridesmaids and stuff were great.
But it's just not part of the culture for you guys.
It's not part of the culture at all. Yeah. And so it just was interesting. That was an experience.
Yeah, that DJ broke the glass ceiling. I went up to him at one point and I said, bro, do you have any idea what you got into at this wedding? And he said, no, but it's wild. And then I said, dude, you just need to know, like, they don't dance.
This is the first dance for everyone.
This is the first dance floor at a Duggar wedding. And he had no idea. He was like, whoa, that's crazy. And so, because I think he was confused because he would build up like a couple classic songs. And then, as the night goes, more and more people. And it's like the dance floor would fill up and then empty and then fill up and empty. But it was a ton of fun because it made me realize, like, Ginger, as many weddings as we go to, like, we gotta take some dance lessons.
We never dance at other people's weddings.
Well, yeah, we do. That's not true. Matt and Stan's we dance at. We'll dance sometimes.
We did it theirs, but it was like a slow dance.
No, we'll have a good. I mean,
we tried.
Yeah, we danced.
We tried. We danced, but most of them, I'm like, I'll just not dance because I just don't know what I'm doing.
Well, it wasn't part of the wedding celebration culture that you guys grew up with. And so I thought it was kind of cool that Jason and Maddie did that. And it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. The kids were out there and
the cutest little, like all the flower girls in their dresses. Yeah. That was adorable. So even when the dance floor was empty, they were out there. Like just the little, like whatever, 4 or 5 little girls were just out there having the time of their lives.
Right.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, it was a fun celebration. So Jason and Maddie put on quite the show, and now they're off and married. So who do you think, if you have to put your money on it, who's the next wedding?
I would say James, just because he is the next oldest. And Johanna, I would say James or Johanna. Jackson is older than Johanna, but Johanna is just Johanna. So I'd say one of those two.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put my money on. I'll put my money on Slim Jim. Yeah,
James. We'll see. You never know.
You know what's funny about the Duggar weddings is, usually it's like last minute. Not last minute, like they've been planning it for a while, but we'll get the announcement like, Jason's engaged and the wedding's in 2 months, and you're like, oh shoot! So you have to change around all your plans. And zoom out there, and it's cool, but they don't waste any time. Apparently, Jason and Maddie had been planning this for a while, even before he formally asked her to marry him. Yeah. They kind of had their timeline plotted out a little bit.
I like it, though. I feel like some of it is, too. Like, you as a couple, you just decide what works for you, and you go for it. Because, yeah, like, people will say whatever about timelines and, like, how much time you need to plan. But if you feel like you have it planned, go for it. Like, I don't think there's any problem with that. I think it's great. So, yeah. And, I mean, I do feel like their wedding was so fun. Like, the size. Talk about the size. It was like...
Oh, yeah. So, probably 150 people max, right?
Yeah.
We had over, I think, around 1,200 people at our wedding. Mm-hmm. And that's cool because, you know, basically everyone that you know and their everyone they know and their pets are at your wedding. But you just don't get as much quality time. Like, that's something I know we've talked about before, but not regret. But I just wish I had so many friends like Pat Powers and Molly Queso and Zach Yeager and Rhett Bull and all these guys came out to my wedding from childhood friends, and I didn't get a ton of time with them. Yeah. Because there's so many people and whatever else. And
it's also hard at weddings to do that sometimes, even if you have a smaller number.
Yeah, that's true.
It is hard to engage with people, but I did feel that at our wedding. And I think that that's something that going to these weddings that are like small for Duggar's size, because part of that is, like we've talked about, the family size is huge. So if you have a large family and you have a ton of like grandkids, then it's already going to feel big, no matter how many people you invite. Right. So with that, I feel like this wedding was different too, because we had quite a few. I feel like, you know, most all the siblings were there, and then some of them actually left their kids back home. A couple of them did. We did. And yeah, a few of the other siblings did too. And so it also, like, those things can feel smaller too, because it was out of state. Like, it was so far away. And with that, like, you look around and see, we actually had like a ton of relatives come, aunts and uncles. It was sweet. Like, my mom's siblings were there. And so it was really sweet being able to like catch up with a lot of them and have that time. And we had like a small number of friends there. And I feel like when we go back to even Arkansas, or like just to visit in general, or to go back for a wedding or an event, most of the time recently it's been for events, because there's so many things happening. So we'll just fly back for a specific purpose. And with that, like, I don't get as much quality time with my siblings or my own family, because there's so many friends as well around, which is super sweet, that I'm connecting with as well. So it's kind of like when you have this time away with your family and it's just like a really small wedding, it's sweet. Cause like, it's almost like you get those times with your siblings, especially the younger ones too, like who I don't get to see all the time just because of the distance, and like, they aren't flying out here by themselves all the time, you know, because they're still young. Being able to connect with them is just really, really sweet in that setting. So I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. There have been a few smaller weddings, like
Janet Stevens.
Oh yeah,
that was really good.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And
I loved that wedding.
And even the big ones are fun too.
Yeah,
they've got just a different. It's a different vibe. Yeah,
it's just a different vibe, and I think that probably for us, like, because we live far away, a few of the other siblings too, you know, like Justin and Claire, if they're coming in from Texas, then they're going to probably feel some of that too. Like, you come to a wedding and you really want to see, your family, few close friends that might be there. Like, it's really sweet. And I think that's probably another reason why, like, the other siblings would probably be like, oh yeah, it's great. Like, bigger weddings are fine. But like, because we're coming in, you want that more quality time maybe.
Right. Yeah. And then you have those special moments too of like staying up till 4 a.m. I mean, I was with Ben and with Austin and Evan and Steven, and they didn't all make it till 4 a.m. Me, yeah. Carlin, and Evan got into deep conversations late at night, which you enjoy in the moment, and then regret in the morning when you have to get up for
my word.
An early morning flight.
I was so sad. They were like, come over. It was like 2 a.m. I said, guys, I seriously I'm already feeling a little nauseous. If I stay up any later, I'm going to be very sick. And I knew we had to wake up for an early morning flight. So I was glad I went to bed, but we'll hang with them soon.
So they're coming out, and I'm going to just say this on the pod just to make sure they stick to it. Evan, to see us. Carlin, if you hear me.
The Stew Crew.
They said they're coming out, and they want to come out in like November. So
check out their podcast, guys. Yeah. I mean, not their podcast. Did I say their podcast? Their vlog.
They should start a podcast.
They should
start a podcast, guys. So I had never hung out with Evan, and he's a fun time.
They are so much fun. They are really a blast. So much personality, I'm telling you.
Lots of personality.
It's great. I love it.
There's a lot of personality going on there, and it's good.
They're a blast.
And pizza rolls, little pizza rolls at 1 a.m. are delicious. They don't taste good during the day, but at 1 a.m. they do. But yeah, it's moments like that you look back on, and that's why, again, I'm like, I know I'm going to regret this in the morning.
Oh yeah, but it's worth it. It really is. If you can pull it off, if you're not nauseous, go for it.
But those times I can look back at all the weddings and be like, last wedding we stayed with Josiah and Lauren. And
oh yeah. Those so
couple days
precious.
were amazing.
That was really sweet.
You get into their world and you get to hang out with them, and
I love it. Like, just any chance you get to like either stay with family or friends if you're traveling. It's so much better. Like, we love having a hotel or like an Airbnb or something. We like that experience too, but at the same time, like, if you're able to connect with like just staying at someone's house, you can stay up so much later. So like, we love to do that when we go places, just to like be able to connect with family and like spend that time with friends.
Yeah. They're great memories.
So good. Did you get any good food? I can't remember. What did we eat?
What's funny is, remember we went that morning to that little diner.
Yes.
And that was true Tennessee. I forget what it was called. But it was, and it was, what was funny is like, you go look at the prices and it's like $6 for an omelet.
Oh my word.
And hash browns. And it's this massive serving.
Oh, well, remember we ordered the omelet.
The trash omelet?
Oh, mercy. Oh, the name. Okay.
You could not get over that name.
I cannot.
When I saw trash omelet, I knew immediately what it was talking about. And I was like, yeah, I want that.
I was certain I knew what they were talking about. Trash omelet means you throw everything into it.
Delicious.
It would be if they changed the name. It could be the everything omelet. It could be the
the everything omelet.
The hodgepodge omelet. Like, whatever you want.
That's a creative name.
Thank you. But the trash omelet just is disgusting. I hate, more than anything, I hate taking out the garbage.
Oh, that's true.
I will leave the garbage.
Regularly come home to multiple bags of garbage just piled up inside.
And that's even if I take them out. Sometimes the trash can's overflowing. I hate touching garbage. It's like something in my mind where I feel like it's so unsanitary. It's disgusting, especially in pregnancy. It grosses me out. Like, I hate taking out the garbage. I clean the entire house. I'll do all of that. Sweep, vacuum, mop. Doesn't bother me. But when it comes to actually taking out the garbage, I'll even clean toilets. I might use gloves, but I'll clean the toilets. But with the garbage, I hate that. So when I saw that there was a garbage omelet, the first thing that came to my mind was a picture of a garbage can. And I can't get it out of my mind. I'm like, I'm not ordering that. I'm not.
So me and Steven ordered it.
They did.
And it was great. We did. It was phenomenal.
It was good. But like $6 for a massive omelet. Where in LA are you going to find that?
Well,
and
we're in the country.
Sides.
But it was great.
The sides of hash browns. I was a little disappointed. Were you?
Yeah, it was one hash brown.
No, well, I thought it was gonna be like the hash browns that you get like at Cracker Barrel or something. Like, they're just like, what are those? They're like the shredded.
Yeah,
hash
shredded
browns.
Potato. Yeah,
shredded potato. And so I thought it was gonna be
like
those.
A hash brown from McDonald's.
It was like a microwavable hash brown. One.
Yeah.
So I didn't eat it. It was a little
So
greasy.
walking in, it was definitely the choice of like local flavor, because there was a First Watch or something we could have gone to, which is a chain.
We've been to that before.
But this one was like, let's try this out. And
it was like a little diner.
Yeah.
Cash only.
Yep.
And you walk in and you see all the regulars sitting at the bar. Half of them, it was sweet. Half of them had like their veterans hat-ons, you know, and they were like from whatever ward they served in. It was really sweet. They were all lined up at there was just like one row where you can sit at the bar and watch the one lady make your food.
Yep.
And then the other lady was serving you your coffee and she was like bringing the stuff to the table. So there were just a couple people working, right? And anyhow, it was really fun. So Jan and Steven went with us. Like we went to breakfast together. And we had such a good time.
But I told you if I was nervous about it, I was just going to order the oatmeal. So that you know.
I feel like oatmeal is not safer than anything else.
Well, it probably would have been pre-packaged or something.
But oatmeal?
But if I was nervous, I was just going to order oatmeal.
And then you were going to drink coffee maybe?
Yeah, well, you have to drink coffee.
It's diner.
Cheap diner coffee is awesome. Even if it's not
good, it's fine. Like you can put a little cream in it.
I don't mind that at all.
You do put cream in that.
You know, it reminds me of Jerry Seinfeld's comedian Cars Getting Coffee. That makes me just want to go to Old Town diners and have some coffee.
I love it. Get breakfast.
And have a little breakfast. But it was good. And as soon as I saw the trash omelet on the menu, I felt right at home. I knew what I was going to get.
I like it.
And it was delicious. The whole trip was a great trip.
It was a very good trip. And it was different traveling without the girls. We miss them when we're gone. Like anytime we're away from them, like we cannot wait to get back to them. Like you look forward to those times where you can get away, but then at the same time, like oh, I wonder what they're doing.
You immediately miss them.
Can't wait to see them.
Like remember the first time we ever had a babysitter, and it was at Pat Power's wedding in Chicago.
That was
crazy.
We
left them with
Michaela Bates. Well, not Bates, but Kylan. Yeah.
We drove away and we were like 20 minutes down the road and we both looked at each other like we miss Felicity.
Yeah. And she was like a baby.
Yeah.
She was so
it's nice to have that time away, but then you can't wait to get back.
Yeah.
And we're at the stage too where, I mean, you hear the pitter patter, you walk in the door, they're running up to you. They're screaming at the top of their lungs, Daddy, Mommy. So it's fun to come home.
We had a couple fun things that we did too late night. We went with Justin and Claire to
we hit up a Buc-ee's
and we got
Buc-ee's
the kids,
culture.
Yeah, we got the kids some like t-shirts.
Shout out JB and Kylie
from Sevierville, Tennessee, and then we got them like some little toys. Evie's so into cars, so we got her like a little monster truck thing, and then Felicity, what did we get her? Oh, a little keychain for her backpack.
Of her unicorn.
Yeah, it was really
her little
sweet.
Unicorn flower. She has a unicorn flower, and then we got her the mini one.
It was a mini one on a keychain. We're like, this matches her favorite unicorn.
It's great.
So it's cute.
That's one thing about traveling is whenever I have to travel for preaching or something, where we travel away from without the kids to bring them something special.
Yeah,
I remember my dad always bringing something.
You do such a good job of that too. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I could say I don't forget to like get a special thing every time, but you
can I just tell you,
very good job.
I typically will get something like it's $10, it's a t-shirt or something. This last time I had to go for preaching for just a day, but Felicity was real torn up about it because we'd been spending a ton of time together.
Yeah.
And she's real torn up, and so I promised her, I said, I'm going to bring you something really special. And then on my way home, I realized I didn't get anything from the destination I was at. And so I imposed all this guilt on myself, and I went to Target and spent way too much money.
It's okay.
I got them like
a dress,
bluey dresses, slippers. I mean, like all this stuff and it didn't matter to her.
She loves that dress, and
she does. Yeah,
she wanted to wear it so bad to church, like or for Bible study. Right? It was Bible study the other day we went to.
Yeah,
and she was like, "Can I please wear my special dress?" Well,
because it's the first dress I've gotten her that isn't like a little kitty. Like
you got Evie
Disney
a bluey dress,
princess,
and then you got her this
like
one. It's
I told her
this
is a big girl dress.
Yeah, it is so
and she
pretty.
Looks pretty in it.
It's so cute. So she loves that dress. So I mean, you spend the extra money on it, but then at the same time you look back and it's like that's gonna like be something she remembers.
That's a core memory.
It's so cute.
All right, well, it was fun. Another Duggar wedding down. Only 6 more to go. Goodness,
crazy.
Look at it. Just yesterday, Jill was getting married.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy. All right, well, thanks for hanging out, guys. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff. Leave a comment, and as always, give us some suggestions of what to talk about.
Yes, please do. We're always waiting for them.
See ya.